Buddy, this is Sazan from the Zingerman's Bakehouse. Like many of you guys, I am I've been at home for a while now, and I'm coming up with things to do. One of them is, of course, baking breads and milling my own flours as well. So I thought it would be a good idea to share with you how to make your own flour at home using this, I want to say, revolutionary countertop mill called the Mockmill. If you go to their website, you can find a lot more information on it. At the bakehouse, we have been milling our own grains for a while now, and it's part of our 2023 vision too. The idea is that fresh flours, they just, flavor wise, they just taste a lot better. There's a lot more aroma, a lot more nutrition because you're capturing all the components of the wheat berries. Um, and also, you get to support the local farmers. We've been trying to source our grains as locally as possible. Um, and For our production, we started doing this back in 2018. And initially, we were using the mock mill actually for our very limited production and for testing purposes. And to this day, we still use it in production, and we use it in our pastries for pastry flour production, and also to produce rye chops for our full corn broad bread. Otherwise, we have the big new American stone mill, which is also an amazing mill, um, and that one is 26 inches actually in diameter. So it's a big one and can help us produce a lot of flour, fresh flour. Anyway, without further ado, I wanted to talk to you guys about this little mill. Um, it's made in Germany. Um, it has a nice vegetable-based plastic casing on the outside. This is the hopper section, and there's a lever here on the side to control how far the stones are from each other. And this is the chute where the whole grain flour comes out from. And here is the on-off on this side. Here is the on-off button, and it is very bottom heavy because that's where the motor is. In this part here, that's where the two little stones are. Um, just one tip: if you're going to lift this mill, always do it from the hopper rather than from this nose section, as we call, because we have broken it before. This connection here is a lot sturdier than the connection here. So I'll take it apart for you guys to show what it looks like on the inside, so you understand how the mechanism works. Um, so here are the two latches that I'm going to press on soon. But first, I want to take this lever off, so I'm going to unscrew it. By the way, we do sell this mill at the bakehouse here in Ann Arbor. So if you're around, I would say it's a great investment for your kitchen, especially nowadays with all that's going on out there. It would it would be very neat to be able to mill your own flour at home whenever you want. Um, and the cool thing about the grains is that you can store them for a very long time in a cool and dry environment, and all you need is either cook it as is or use a mill like this to really access the nutrition and the flavor the grains have to offer. So I take the top off, as you can see. It's very easy. And then I'm going to unscrew this plastic casing. There you go. It's very simple. And I'm going to take this off. And here you can see the stone. This is a 3.5-inch diameter stone. It is corundum ceramic. It's man-made, but it's very food grade. It's super hard. It has the hardness of a material that's very close to diamonds. Um, and it's self-sharpening, so you don't have to worry about sharpening it, as opposed to the granite stones that we have at the bakehouse for our big mill, which do need sharpening once or twice a year, depending on how much you're using it. So this is great for home use, and you can also see these little channels in the stone, which help direct the grain from. So the grains are coming through here from the center, and then these channels direct the grain onto the very rough surface. They start out deep and then they go shallow because, as you can imagine, as the grain is traveling, it's getting smaller and smaller because it's getting ground. And the rough surface basically really shears the grain into flour, and the flour travels towards the perimeter and falls down on the side. I'm gonna bring this close so you can see it here, and it turns like this. And there's a little sweeper in there, which is very hard to see now, but that sweeper basically sweeps the ground, sweeps the ground flour out through the chute, and you get freshly milled flour. And the other thing I want to show you guys are these little springs here. You want to make sure that when you're taking the top off, that those springs stay in place and they're not stuck on on the on the top here in this part, and they don't fall off.